Chosen one, pause right here. Before another second passes, understand this. You didn't stumble into this moment by accident. This message crossed your path because heaven aligned the timing, the pressure, and your readiness all at once. Something has been watching your life quietly. Your resilience, your silence, your unanswered prayers, your private tears. And now the atmosphere has shifted. This is not encouragement. This is not motivation. This is an alarm. God does not sound alarms for people who are unmarked. He sounds them for those who carry something precious, something targeted. You felt it, haven't you? The strange tension, the sense that eyes are on you, spiritually, emotionally, energetically. The way certain conversations drain you. The way certain people feel curious about you for reasons they can't explain. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment. Hit subscribe and comment if your spirit is already responding, because this message is not random. It's about to speak directly to you, and this step is alignment, not interruption. Chosen one, you've survived battles no one investigated. You endured confusion that made you question your own clarity. You learned how to smile while carrying weight that would have crushed others. And yet, through shadow, delay, and silence, you were preserved. That's because your life is not just lived, it's guarded. And right now, God is pulling back the veil to warn you. Not everything needs to be explained, confronted, or shared. Some things must be protected. This is a season of divine caution, not fear, wisdom, not isolation, discernment. You're standing at a threshold where exposure could slow destiny, where the wrong access could delay momentum. Heaven is saying, pay attention, lock the gates, guard the sacred, because what's forming in you is fragile before it becomes formidable. There are 4 specific areas, 4 divine assets that require immediate protection. Not tomorrow, not when it feels safer. Now. If these are mishandled, the path ahead becomes heavier than it needs to be. But if they are guarded in obedience, your next chapter unfolds with supernatural smoothness. Chosen one, lean in. The truth that's been hidden is about to be revealed. Chosen one, let us slow this moment down, because when God sounds an alarm, it is never random and it is never exaggerated. Heaven does not interrupt silence unless something valuable is on the line. Think about that. In your own life, you only raise your voice when what you love is about to be harmed. God is no different. When He alerts you, it's not because danger is everywhere, it's because value is present. God does not warn people who carry nothing. He does not alert those who are wandering without purpose. An alarm is sounded only when something sacred needs protection, and right now that alarm is not coming from fear. It's coming from love. Love that sees what you cannot yet see. Love that notices subtle shifts before they become serious losses. Love that understands your future is too important to be left unguarded. Chosen one, ask yourself this quietly. Why now? Why this urgency? Why this inner nudge that won't let you relax the way you used to? It's because something in your life has crossed from preparation into activation. Your peace is becoming visible. Your calling is taking shape. Your timing is aligning. And whenever heaven begins to move things into position, resistance also begins to investigate. God's alarms are not loud in the way the world expects. Sometimes they come as restlessness, sometimes as discernment, sometimes as a sudden discomfort with people, places, or conversations that once felt normal. That's not confusion, that's spiritual intelligence. God is saying, yeah, pay attention here. Guard this area. Don't dismiss what you're sensing. Notice this. Alarms are never meant to create panic. Panic scatters focus. God's warnings do the opposite. They sharpen awareness. They slow you down so you don't overshare, overexpose, or overextend. They remind you that not everything needs to be explained and not everyone needs access. Protection is not hiding, it's honoring what's sacred. Chosen one, your peace is not fragile by accident. Your calling is not forming quietly for no reason. Your destiny is not unfolding slowly because God is delayed. It's because timing requires shielding before revealing. Would you leave gold uncovered in a crowded place? Would you expose a newborn to harsh conditions before it's ready? Then why would God do that with you? This alarm is heaven's confirmation that you are carrying something worth guarding. It's validation that your life is not ordinary. And the very fact that you can hear this warning means God trusts you to respond with wisdom, not fear. So listen closely. What is God asking you to preserve right now? Where is He telling you to be more discerning? Because this alert is not about danger ahead, it's about destiny protected. Chosen one, this moment feels different because it is different. There are seasons when life moves quietly, and then there are moments when the air itself feels charged, when decisions carry more weight, when distractions feel heavier, and when even small missteps seem to echo louder than before. This urgency you're sensing is not anxiety, it's spiritual timing, and timing, when it is sacred, always demands attention. Chosen ones face greater resistance not because they are weak, but because they are effective. Purpose attracts pressure, light attracts observation. The closer you move toward growth, transition, or elevation, the more the unseen realm begins to respond. Have you noticed how resistance increased only after you decided to change? How confusion intensified right after clarity began to form? That's not coincidence, it's confirmation. Right now, you are standing near a threshold. Something is shifting internally before it shifts externally. Old patterns are loosening, old identities are cracking, and when transformation is near, everything that benefited from the old version of you feels threatened. That's why this moment is sensitive. That's why heaven is urging you not to rush, not to over-explain, and not to drift into distractions that look harmless, but quietly drain momentum. Ask yourself, chosen one, why does delay feel more costly now than it used to? Why do certain detours suddenly feel dangerous instead of just inconvenient? It's because the margin for error narrows when destiny is close. What once could be corrected easily now requires far more energy to undo. God is not pressuring you, He's prioritizing you. Urgency does not mean panic, it means precision. It means being intentional with your time, your words, your energy, and your access. In past seasons, you could afford to be careless with who you listened to or what you entertained. In this season, every influence matters. Every voice leaves a mark. Every choice either aligns you or pulls you slightly off course. Chosen one, heaven sees what's forming ahead of you even if you can't fully name it yet. And because what's coming is weighty, God is asking you to move wisely now. This is not the season to numb yourself with noise or postpone obedience until things feel easier. Ease is not the signal, alignment is. So breathe, slow your steps, guard your focus. Let urgency sharpen you, not scare you. Because this alert is not about something going wrong, it's about something going right. And what you protect in this moment will determine how smoothly you step into what's next. Chosen one, when God calls you to protect something, it's never vague and it's never excessive. He is precise because destiny is precise. Right now, heaven is gently but firmly drawing your attention to 4 areas of your life that require intentional guarding. Not hiding, not fear, protection. Because what is forming in you is still developing, and development requires shelter before exposure. The first area is your plans. Not everything God shows you is meant to be spoken aloud. Some visions weaken when they're announced too early. Have you noticed how certain plans feel powerful in prayer but fragile in conversation? That's because plans grow best in silence before they mature in action. God protects your plans by limiting access, not because others are evil, but because not everyone has the capacity to handle what hasn't fully formed yet. Ask yourself, chosen one, who truly understands the weight of what I'm building, and who just wants information without responsibility? The second area is your energy. This is more than physical tiredness, it's spiritual currency. Every interaction either replenishes you or quietly drains you. Right now, God is asking you to become aware of where your strength is going. Are you explaining yourself too much? Carrying emotions that aren't yours? Fighting battles you were never assigned? Energy must be guarded because without it, even the right calling feels heavy. Protection here looks like boundaries, rest, and permission to step back without guilt. When was the last time you chose peace over proving something? The third area is your emotions. Chosen ones feel deeply, that's part of the calling. But depth without discernment can lead to unnecessary wounds. God is asking you not to harden your heart, but to steward it. Not every feeling needs an audience. Not every hurt needs immediate expression. Emotions need space to be processed with God before they're shared with people. Otherwise, they become entry points for manipulation, misunderstanding, or regret. Ask yourself honestly, am I expressing from healing or from rawness that still needs God's touch? The fourth area is your spiritual focus. This may be the most critical of all. Distraction is subtle, not obvious. It often looks productive, urgent, or even spiritual, but slowly pulls your attention away from what truly matters. God is calling you back to alignment, back to stillness, back to hearing Him clearly. Protection here means choosing depth over noise, obedience over urgency, and presence over pressure. What you focus on grows. What you neglect weakens. Where is your attention truly resting right now? Chosen one, God highlights these four areas not to burden you, but to preserve you. Unprotected things develop crooked. Guarded things develop strong. This is not restriction, it's preparation. And the more faithfully you protect what's been entrusted to you in this season, the more confidently you'll carry what's revealed in the next. So listen closely. What is God asking you to shield today so it can stand tomorrow? Chosen one, there is a quiet truth many never learn until after unnecessary delay. Exposure changes outcomes. Not because what God placed inside you is weak, but because timing is sacred. What is revealed too early becomes vulnerable to interference that was never assigned to it. God builds in seasons, and every season requires the right environment to develop what is forming within you. When too many people have access to your inner world, clarity begins to fracture. One voice questions your direction, another subtly doubts your ability. Someone else listens with curiosity but carries jealousy they don't even recognize themselves. None of them may intend harm, and yet their presence alters the atmosphere. Confusion doesn't always enter loudly. Sometimes it slips in disguised as advice, concern, or just being honest. Have you noticed how certainty weakens after certain conversations? That's not imagination. That's interference. God never invites a crowd into the construction phase. Foundations are laid in privacy for a reason. Imagine trying to build something while strangers constantly adjust the blueprint, question the materials, or suggest shortcuts. Progress would slow, focus would scatter. The structure might still rise, but not as smoothly and not as strongly. This is exactly what happens when exposure replaces discernment. Chosen one, delay is rarely punishment. More often, it's protection activated too late. When opinions multiply, doubt gains permission. When doubt is entertained, energy leaks. And when energy leaks, momentum stalls. What once felt clear begins to feel complicated. What once felt joyful begins to feel heavy. Ask yourself, who has access to parts of me they were never meant to manage? Who knows details that God never asked me to release yet? God builds best in environments of peace, agreement, and spiritual alignment. That's why He sometimes pulls you back, not because you're wrong, but because you're early. Early exposure interrupts timing. Early access invites misunderstanding. Early visibility attracts pressure before strength is fully formed. Even Jesus withdrew from crowds when it was not yet His hour. Silence was not avoidance, it was obedience. Protection does not mean isolation forever. It means discernment for now. God will reveal what needs to be seen when the structure is ready to stand under weight. Until then, guarding your inner world keeps growth clean, direction sharp, and timing intact. Chosen one, hear this gently. Not everyone who listens deserves access. Not everyone who cares is qualified to advise. And not everyone who asks is meant to know. When you protect what God is building, you don't delay destiny, you preserve it. So consider this carefully. What needs to be pulled back into God's hands today so it can move forward without resistance tomorrow? Chosen one, God is patient, but He is also precise. Before He ever allows strong correction or visible intervention, He warns gently. He speaks in sensations before He speaks in events. And many times the reason a season became harder than it needed to be is not because God was silent, but because His early alerts were dismissed. Think back for a moment. Have there been times when you felt an unexplainable unease, even when everything looked fine on the surface? Moments when something in your spirit tightened, but your mind talked you out of it? That quiet discomfort was not overthinking. It was discernment knocking softly. God often begins with whispers because he respects your free will. He does not force attention, he invites it. One of the clearest signs an alert was ignored is repeated setbacks after sharing. You felt excited, hopeful, clear, until you spoke it out loud to the wrong ears. Suddenly, progress slowed, motivation dipped, complications appeared where there had been flow. Chosen one, have you noticed that pattern? It's not that people cursed what you shared, it's that exposure disrupted timing. God had already warned you through hesitation, but excitement overrode wisdom. Another sign is feeling consistently drained around certain people, not tired in the body, drained in the spirit. You leave conversations needing recovery. You feel foggy instead of focused, heavy instead of encouraged. That is not random chemistry, it's an energetic boundary being crossed. God alerts you by allowing your peace to withdraw when alignment is missing. Ask yourself honestly, why do I feel smaller after explaining myself to certain people? Sometimes the alert comes as repetition, the same lesson, the same kind of disappointment, the same emotional outcome, just wearing a different face. Repetition is not punishment, it's emphasis. God repeats what we refuse to recognize. And the longer we ignore subtle warnings, the louder the lesson becomes. What began as unease can grow into delay. What started as discomfort can turn into exhaustion. Chosen one, hear this without shame. Ignoring a warning doesn't make you disobedient, it makes you human. But recognizing it now makes you wise. God does not expose these patterns to condemn you, but to free you from unnecessary cycles. He would rather redirect you early than repair damage later. So pause and reflect. Where has God been trying to get your attention? What patterns are asking to be acknowledged instead of explained away? Because this moment of awareness is grace, and if you listen now, you won't need stronger intervention later. The alarm has already sounded. The question is not whether God spoke, it's whether you're ready to respond this time. Chosen one, obedience is not about restriction, it is about flow. When God calls you to listen early, he is not trying to slow you down. He is trying to keep your path smooth. Many people think resistance is a normal part of destiny, but often resistance increases only when alignment is ignored. Obedience, when practiced in its earliest form, preserves momentum before friction ever forms. Right now, heaven is offering you a quieter path forward. Not easier, but cleaner. Obedience protects your focus by narrowing your attention to what truly matters. It keeps you from scattering energy on explanations, emotional repairs, or detours that were never assigned to you. Have you noticed how clarity returns the moment you stop engaging with what God already asked you to release? That's alignment restoring itself. Listening early also preserves your energy. Every delayed decision costs strength. Every ignored nudge creates inner conflict. But when you respond quickly, when you pull back, say no, stay silent, or realign, peace settles almost immediately. That peace is not comfort, it is confirmation. God rewards obedience not with applause, but with ease in the spirit. Ask yourself, chosen one, where did my energy begin to drain? And what instruction came just before that? Obedience keeps you synchronized with God's timing. Destiny is not only about where you're going, it's about when you arrive. Arriving too early exposes you. Arriving too late exhausts you. But obedience keeps you perfectly positioned. When you guard what matters now, your plans, your heart, your focus, you prevent unnecessary warfare later. Battles are lighter when timing is right. Chosen one, momentum is fragile in transition seasons. That's why God emphasizes small instructions now. Not dramatic sacrifices, subtle adjustments. Silence instead of explanation. Distance instead of confrontation. Rest instead of striving. These choices may feel insignificant, but they compound into clarity, and clarity compounds into movement without resistance. This is how destiny unfolds with grace. Not rushed, not forced, not delayed, but protected, aligned, and steadily revealed. When you obey now, you don't just move forward, you move cleanly. So listen closely. What is the simple instruction God is asking you to honor today? Because your future is not waiting for effort, it's waiting for obedience.